Hello everyone, welcome once again to round number 5 of the 44th Chess Olympiad in Chennai, India. And one of the most anticipated matches also in this tournament is the game between USA and Israel. Alright, there was only one decisive match, a decisive game in this match. It's Dominguez win against Rothstein. The 3 other games were drawn from Caruana to Aronian and Wesley. Let's check the game, how it unfolds. All right, Dominguez went for e4, e5 for Rothstein. Knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, knight f6. Okay, we have the Berlin with these 2 knights against the Roy Lopez. Okay, the anti-Berlin, yes, protecting e4. Not going for the normal castle, because if castle, knight takes e4, rook e1, knight e6. Dominguez doesn't want to go into this one. Wesley's game was a short draw with this line. Yeah. Going for d3. He wants more action, keeping more pieces on the board. Bishop c5, c3, castles, castles. d5, just knight bd2. It was also possible to take. Queen takes d5 and bishop c4. But Dominguez wants to keep it close. Takes. All right, we have one open file, the d file. All right, the battle of the d file. Queen e7, h3, no pin. a5, a4, d8, queen c2. Knight b8, on first retreat. Trying to change, go knight b7, c6 first. So good move, rook e1. Now if the opponent decides to play c6, then you can move back to f1. Right? Protecting g2 and h3 as well, yes? Bishop protects your king. 98. Black continues to shift his pieces, maneuvering. Okay, but I don't like, personally, I don't like this knight e8 to d6 idea. It's a waste of time. Why are you gonna block the d file? I would have played, okay, just normal h6 here. And if white plays, let's say knight to b1, continue with your plan with knight b8 to knight d7. If the opponent goes knight g3, then put the knight on f8, knight g6, yes. Okay, the bishop has to go back to f1 here, most probably. And then probably c6, yes. That's about it. Knight goes to g6. Typical. Bishop goes to e6. Knight e8, going to knight d6. Not too sure about this one. Here to b1, knight d6, bishop d3. Knight into c6, knight f1. All right. f6, bishop e3. Good reply for white. Takes. Completed the development. We are now in the middle game. White has the control of d5. Bishop e6, b4. Expansion. Expand on the queen side. b6, b5. This is going to be a problem now. The backward c7 pawn. That's why I don't like the idea of moving back this 98. It was a waste of tempo, waste of time. 98, knight d6. The pawn was supposed to be on c6 earlier. And then you have to go back to b8. Knight d5. Control. Queen f7, c4. White has the upper hand. Now knight b7. Continuous maneuvering. Try to go for knight c5 and knight d7 later. Knight h4, knight c5, bishop e2. Good move. The bishop is protecting f5. It's keeping an eye on t5. So you can exchange with bishop g4. Right. Control the light squares. And also your knight can jump to the f5 square. King h8, bishop g4. That was the point of bishop e2. Anyway, it's a close position. So it's better to exchange the bishop in a close position. Bishop takes d5, c takes d5. Now this is really bad for black. Knight b, d7, rook e3, g6, rook c3. All right. This was the moment, I was watching it live, when black played knight f8. The three other games, they settled for draws. Wesley drew right away. Caruana also drew right away. That's how they trust Dominguez to deliver the point. Anyone from Caruana to Aronian to Wesley, anyone can play board one. Yeah. Even Dominguez can play board one. This one of the top 15 players in the world. Yeah. Nakamura could have played also here instead of Shankland. So that's how they know how strong Dominguez is. And they know from this moment on that Dominguez will win the game. After knight f8, they drew. Yeah, and Dominguez was so confident also. From here on, it was this perfect chess for Dominguez. Check it out. He started with rook c1. Alec Heinz gone. Okay, the main thing here is to capture on c5. Right? Sacrifice. Rook d6, he played g3 first. I like this move. It's just very deep understanding of the position. You will see why later on. Rook a8, only then he sacrificed on c5. Takes, takes. c7 is weak. Look at the bishop. White has no other counterplay. f5, okay. Counterplay on f2. Bishop f3. Okay. That g3 is actually a space for the knight to g2, the bishop to e4, if in case black wants to go g5. Now it's just understanding of the position. So after rook f6, rook c2, keeping an eye on f2, not allowing black to get any counterplay. Knight d7, take the second pawn. Pass b pawn, pass t pawn. Rook f8. Black's only counterplay, his own Alec Heinz gone on the f file. Queen a7. Defense on f2. Right. Elite defense. Knight b6. Rook c7. Okay, queen has to go g8. Rook c6. The elimination of the rook. Knight takes a4. Queen takes a5. F takes e4. Takes on e4. The queen is attacking the knight. Black has nothing. Okay, if you go knight b2, this is the only square for your knight, then I would go back knight f3. What can you do? This is just too much. Okay, you can capture. Rook takes f3, bishop takes f3, rook takes f3. With only one rook, I can push b6, then b7, then rook c8. Oops. Game over. Black had to play takes on f2. It's a free piece. Right? Queen takes a4. The king can go h2 and I can go g2. Queen f7. Okay, you have to be careful here. If you're not careful, let's just say a random move like d6, for example, you will be checkmated with rook f1. You thought that king h2 saves your king, but there's queen f2, knight g2, queen g1 mate. That's black's last trick. And rook c1, defense. Defense. Now, if you play rook f1, takes is different because queen takes f1, king h2. If you play rook f2, just knight g2. There's no queen g1 because it's the other way around. It's the rook on f2. So after rook c1, queen goes to f6, queen a3. Right. What to do for black? Okay, he played rook check, takes an f1, takes an f1, king h2, rook f2, knight g2, queen takes b5, but the queen went to e7, bishop protecting g2, pass pawn. Okay, black still went on play queen e2, but nothing. Just queen takes on e5, queen g8, yes, queen e8, king goes to e7, queen e7, you play rook f7, queen e5. You know what to do, Yanni. And this is just too much to handle. The rest is just a matter of technique. So that was a strong win by Dominguez against Rothstein. You can stop the pawn from promotion here. King is safe on h2. USA wins 2.5, 1.5 against Israel. And an interesting political thing here from Israel, USA tomorrow will be playing Iran. Wow. We all know very well that Iran and Israel, they don't want to play chess. Actually, they don't want handshakes. They actually don't want to play in matches. So there's some political stuff involved here. But anyway, chess is chess. So that's about it. The former Cuban Dominguez delivers the victory for Team USA. Thank you guys for supporting our channel, Charles Max Chess and Charles Max Entertainment on Facebook and YouTube. We will continue our coverage of the Chess Olympiad 2022 in the days to come. This is Coach Oliver. Stay safe, everyone, and